adjust the camera here somewhat. Uh, just playing with the camera here, guys and gals out there. Yeah, we're just gonna talk a little bit different today. My first impressions of Las Vegas. From our first ever trip to Las Vegas happened in July. By the way, Pinball Hall of Fame. If I was a kid back in Vegas, if I had Pinball Hall of Fame, I would have never left there. I loved pinball machines when I was a kid. Uh, yeah, my true Vegas souvenir right there is Pinball Hall of Fame, and this one you see in the thumbnail. Ooh, I think I got this at the ABC store on Fremont Street. That uh, $13.99. I still got in one piece. Usually these throw away within 24 hours after you get it home, but it did not happen. It's still there in one piece. That's the main thing. The heaviest part was the base. The part I'm worried about breaking is up here and that. So, okay, I'm just making it to the lights. I didn't really watch any of the Sin City family live streams the last week or so. Just after that sexual act he did that Halloween, not knowing that he actually showed a bullet and all that. So I did not watch much after all that. So I thought I'd just come up different, give me my take on Vegas on our very first trip. Been there lifetime twice. Our first trip, it's documented. Of course, everything is documented on our main channel. Check out all our Vegas vacations videos, including our live stream with Sin City Family, where we try to hijack it in some form. I try to, but hey, it's don't. Yep, it almost happened. But our first trip was in July of 2021. It was part of our Amtrak trip. We took an Amtrak train ride from Galesburg, Illinois, to Flagstaff, Arizona. We did the Grand Canyon, and then we drove down to Phoenix, Arizona. We went to. This is when I actually was hoping to be part of an NBA final championship that's won by the Milwaukee Bucks that year, in a way, because I was hoping to be there at Game 5 in Phoenix, but I'll get to that part in a little bit here. But yeah, we went to Phoenix. After the Grand Canyon, we went to Phoenix, and we went to a Cubs game at Chase Field. Then we kind of hung around the next. When we arrived in Phoenix, we went to Castles and Coasters for when it opened up for the evening hours. I don't blame them. It was not a very big park, so it was more like an evening park. It was a fun park to go to. We'll do it again, if necessary, and that. So we went to Phoenix. The Castle Cubs game. The extra day was supposed to have been mostly trying to stay around which we did on an edited video, roaming around Mesa and Phoenix, and we did roam around the Mesa. We went to the Cubs training camp, got some videos and photo there. Then we hung around, walked around the downtown Phoenix area. It would have been Game 5 for the NBA Finals. If it would have worked out, it would have been the championship game, hopefully championship clinching game. That would have been great content for the channel, but that didn't happen. Then we took almost a 5-hour drive from Phoenix to Las Vegas, Nevada. We went through a Joshua tree forest. I never saw a Joshua tree before. They're a very unique tree. I would have thought I've never seen one in my lifetime, but we saw a whole forest of it. So I saw my whole lifetime in one trip of them. And that, so. And you still see a few of those trees around Vegas. Once about those Joshua trees. They're a very unique tree, very different, very bizarre looking. And that. Okay, when we arrived in Vegas, it was late July. Oh, by the way, a little hint note. Can you name what channel was only 5 days old? 5 days old when we arrived, and we had our channel at the time. We were we just got done celebrating on our main channel. We were celebrating on this channel. We were celebrating. We just got done celebrating 9 years. This is about 3 years earlier or 2.5 years earlier. We were like in our seventh year, sixth or seventh year of YouTube uh, at the time. So we were pretty well established in that. So the way we like to be established, not overgrown, not getting greedy and all that stuff. And it's just sometimes it's a pain, but it's enjoyable and that. So. Uh, we stayed, of course, we stayed at the El Cortez. We stayed for I think the first time we stayed there, I think we stayed like 4 nights. I think 3 or 4 nights. Our first impression of Las Vegas was to us was uh, kind of overwhelming, underwhelming in a way. What I mean by that was just being on the Fremont Street experience. That was kind of overwhelming, underwhelming. I love to see it in the old version of it. Also underwhelming was it was not as big as I thought it's going to be on the Fremont Street experience on Fremont downtown. I thought downtown will be from a lot of casinos all the way up Fremont Street, and when I only saw it was like a 3 or 4 block section, I said, "Oh, this was a heartbreak in some form," but it had enough to keep that vibe going. It had a good vibe in other words. The Fremont Street experience just got done. It was like a year removed from having its light canopy redesigned, reimagined to its current LED form. I would love to see it the original lights, but good thing I didn't see it the original lights because you couldn't hardly see it during the day. That's one of the biggest complaints of the. Now you can see it during the day. Of course, you can see the lights come through the canopy and all that stuff, which that was kind of that was another underwhelming, but it was kind of impressive in a way in some form. Uh, for the first time visitors like ourselves back in 2021, we were impressed and unimpressed in a way because technically we're from a one casino town and that, but we were kind of impressed in some form, but underwhelming because we thought it was going to be bigger. Now, when we get on the strip, was a different issue. The strip was amazing for us to walk. The almost the entire length of the strip. I remember we started walking from the Strat. Actually, no, it was the other way. We originally started from this sign out there. We started from this sign, from the welcome sign, and we walked it almost to the Strat. And we were that was a long walk. That was almost a 5 mile walk. That includes it's like almost like yeah, it was well over a 5 mile walk. That includes going zigzagging up and over, go around a corner, have to go up an escalator, across the bridge, come back down, then go back out to the main drag and head on that way and all that stuff. How many YouTubers did we meet back in 2021? Actually, zero. We didn't know most of those people existed till after the fact. And the only thing I knew was after the fact. And I looked at it at the Google it, and I said, when we talk about Sin, I know the last couple of episodes here on Chuck Chats where I talk about Sin City Family, the good, bad, evil stuff, and distasteful, throwing people under the bus, all that stuff. Their channel was only 5 days old when we arrived, and we never knew they existed. We did. I hate to say this. We did see one of their stupid billboards that they bought. Uh, and I said, I don't even know this channel even exists. Actually, we couldn't even Google it at home because it was such a new channel. YouTube doesn't even recommend it. Doesn't even do any recommendations or let you even able to find it. No less until it got to a certain point for some reason. That's the way YouTube operated back then, back in 2021. They just put new channels underneath the rug. So basically, you had to earn your stripes just to get recognized in that. But our first impression of Las Vegas was kind of overwhelming, underwhelming in a way, because when you see it on TV and old videos, it looks like the old strip looks more huge to back then than it is today. It's like a lot of voided areas, especially around the Fontainebleau area, around the Circus area. There's a lot of vacant land that used to had casinos there at one time. Now it's just vacant land. It's kind of wish they would have left some of those old school Vegas there, casinos. I even asked about the Riviera. Is the Riviera still there? Not in Vegas. Maybe at Reno, but not in Vegas. Or maybe it was the Riviera at Laughlin. Who knows? I'm not familiar with those two areas yet. I'm going to say yet. But otherwise, the long walk was, you had to wear comfortable shoes to walk that. And for me, those properties did look huge. When I walked past the Bellagio, because it's so far back behind the fountain, it looks like a small town casino like we have around here. Figure that. One of the biggest, fanciest, because it was just so far back. And then, hi, Anthony Myers, Viva. Yeah, those were good places when they were new. I remember seeing the Luxor being new. People talk about that. Mandalay Bay, they talk about that. The Excalibur I heard the Excalibur was great back in the day. It's not so great now. They lost a lot of luster, a lot of just what made them famous. Just it was gone time we were there. Just didn't look there. Our first view of the Tropicana before it got torn down. We did see the Tropicana from the outside, never went inside. Now I regretted it to this day when they imploded that thing. We had a chance to go inside of it for once because it was an old school casino on the strip. We should have went in and we never did. We was able to go inside the Flamingo. But if I had one regret on our last Vegas trips, our last two Vegas trips, first two Vegas trips, because we're going for the third time, lifetime, later in April. And our first regrets was we should have done the Trop. We should have just walked in to say, hey, we put our 2 feet in the Tropicana and that. But that was our biggest regret that we didn't do. We briefly set foot in inside of Excalibur, but not very long. We was just walking across the bridge, technically. So that's what we was doing, walking across the bridge to something else. So, and all that good stuff. But our main impressions, I think the most impressed property I ever seen is Caesar's Palace. For some reason, it just looked bigger than it was when I saw it on videos, let's say 15 years earlier, something like that. And it does look huge in a way. I thought it was one of the biggest properties on the strip. It just looks huge to me. New York was okay. The roller coaster could have been better designed, because what do you expect when you got a ride manufactured from Togo, from Japan, and it's the only Togo type roller coaster there is. Luckily, they got premier trains on it, but that roller coaster needs to be retracked. For some reason, my camera is acting up today. For some reason, and that it's kind of blinking off and on. So it's a technical issue again. I hate these technical issues and that. It's like lights trying to adjust. And of course, when I got an overcast day outside, that's not good either. Uh, and that so, but yeah, Fremont Street experience. For me, the street of Fremont, I thought when I first walked in from the Alcatraz to the plaza, and I said, "Is that it? Is that all? Is that it? Is that all?" Hey, Mark, how you doing? And that so Tech Rex, yeah, I call them Tech Rex, yeah. The blinking of the camera, and that almost reminds me of doing videos on this camera, technical issues on that camera too, and that. So, uh, like I said, a lot of people chiming in and that. Uh, we didn't know a lot of YouTube. We didn't hardly know in our first trip. This is an honest truth. We didn't know any of the YouTubers. I think we only watched one. I think one I only watched was uh, uh, Take a Flight in Vegas. That was the only thing we got tips from. That was the only YouTube channel we ever got tips from. We never knew the other channels exist till after that first trip. When we started learning about these channels, we started watching more, what their take and all that stuff, and uh, we kind of enjoy what they were trying to do and all that stuff. Like I said, when our first trip, our YouTube channel was like 6 or 7 years old. We were somewhat established to our, to our low standards. Was we're okay with. We just broke 1900 over on the main channel, and I saw this channel just blew up like the last couple weeks. We're at 220 before I went out live on this one, and I'm thanking every single one of you guys on this and that. So I'm going to let you guys know I don't usually talk a whole lot of Vegas content. I do rant on other issues and all that stuff because this is my rant channel, and I rant whatever I feel like it. I just feel like I want to rant on the last couple of days. I just want to rant on Sin City Family, what I saw, calling out their BS and all that stuff. Next week I'm going to rant on something. I'm going to give you some fun facts that I was aware of. Not many of you guys who are aware of this. Maybe some of you guys were, maybe some won't do. And that congrats to Chuck for 220 subs here. Yep. Will we get monetized? I don't think so here. Yeah, uh, but I will next week. I will give you at least 5 fun facts about Sin City Family, what I have seen myself, and not many people know about. Maybe forgot about in that. So we'll talk about that next week in that. So reason I just want to come on, I just want to talk about my first ever trip to Las Vegas and that. I mean, everything is on our Angie and Chuck Show channel. Check out our 2021 Vegas. It's not all. You can find it in a playlist called the 2021 Vacation. It has our Amtrak train ride. But you guys want to go to our thoughts on Vegas. Angie's first impressions on the Fremont Street when they did Shakira a song, she just points upward to the lights. She was impressed with the lights, the canopy lights. She just looked up, pointed up, and all that stuff. And one thing I liked about yeah, congratulations with 234 subs there, Mark. And you're just a blogger over there and that. Uh, so yeah, we have videos on that on our first impressions and what we could have done in Vegas, as long as you stay within the vicinity of the Fremont Street experience and the strip was we were able to have an open thing of alcohol on the strip as long as it's in can or plastic. Fremont Street, you're supposed to have it in plastic. I did have a plastic my first time. I did have a plastic cup of beer, and Angie had one of those big, long, sugary type drinks. And when I said, if you looked at the bill I had for that thing, $35 for a glass for a plastic glass of beer and the one of those long. That's what it paid the most. That daiquiri, that strawberry daiquiri, full of sugar, the alcohol, the vodka. how many shots you want, Bach? How many shots you want? One. Kept on pouring and pouring and pouring. I said, Jesus Christ, we want one shot, not half a bottle. Oh, I forgot. Vegas. That is a shot. Half a bottle is a shot. No wonder the drinks are so expensive. And that. That was for 2 alcoholic drinks. Yes. For $35 here at home, I'd be in a drunk tank. I'll get hammered real easy on $35 here. For $35 on 2 alcoholic drinks, one for me, one for Angie, we barely got a buzz. And that. So, and like I said, it was for the experience. We got those drinks at the Circa. It probably would have been the same price across the street or down at one of those open air bars. And that those open air bars are great in Vegas. They're open year round because they can. And boy, they're just great to see. It's something unique and different because you don't see many open air bars like that anywhere. Even up and down the strip, there's some of those open air bars where basically it just you walk past and there's a bar right there, open air, no air conditioning, no nothing. Just walk in, enjoy the fresh air. They'll probably have some fans and maybe misters going, all that stuff. Yeah, we have seen a couple changes since our last trip. Our last trip was actually 2 years ago this month. And that's when we met almost all the YouTubers. Not quite all the YouTubers, but most of them. Unfortunately, we tried to hijack Sin City Family's channel. I tried to. Me. But yeah. But that was before we knew that the wheels were starting to fall off that vehicle and that. But we was able to beat Mark on the second year, trying to jump it ahead. But like I said, the first year we didn't make nobody because we didn't know. We couldn't tell from who to who. As far as I know, if we did see the other me doing his thing on Fremont, all I just saw him, oh wow, Taurus is doing some videos from inside that bar. That's great. Taurus is doing videos and that. And didn't know that was a live streamer at the time because I didn't know who he was at the time. To be an honest truth. This is back in 2021. Now, November 2022, I knew who he was, and I was able to meet and talk to him, Mark of the other me, which was great. He was an honest man, and he's still honest to this day. And that. So, and unfortunately, some people has changed their attitudes along the way. Right now, the one that kept true to the blue is, I think it's to me, is Mark. Coach is almost the same way, but for some reason, because of his illness, he's avoiding certain people and all that stuff. Then you have sometimes you get like Papi Chulo, who just started a channel. He's getting people come up and say hi to him in his live stream, which is great to see because like I said, even when I'm a live streamer myself on my main channel, when I live stream around town, I do once in a while get people who come up and say hi to us on a live stream or even an edited video. They'll come up and say hi, which is great because it's fantastic. That's how you grow a channel and that. But like I said, my biggest takeaways, my biggest pluses is on Fremont Street. My biggest plus on Fremont Street is how the casinos are compact, where you basically just walk out the door, go around the corner, and walk into another casino, and it's only like a block. It's like a block difference. If you see one of my live streams here in town, one of those casinos will easily take up the entire block of downtown where I live at. Easily take over that whole block, part another block too, because you got to include parking. So parking around back. That's why the parking is around back. They show the positives, but your parking is behind the building, so you have that nice downtown type feel stuff on it. I'm kind of reading the chatting down below. That's why I'm looking down so I can read the chats, guys. So So if you see me looking down more, I'm trying to read the chats at the same time and that. But Vegas is just downtown was just impressive because everything is in compact. From reason I don't mention the Western at all because it was even it had a nice big impressive sign. It was barely working at the time, uh, and it was a has been location since it first opened up, technically. So it should have been a place that should never even open up. It should have been opened up a lot better than it was to be part of the Fremont Street experience. But from the Alcatraz to the Plaza is good enough. I like it, that area, because that's the only thing. That's the only casino that you have to walk 2 blocks or more just to get to a bunch of casinos downtown, and that. And I mean a bunch of casinos downtown. You still had the Grand over there. That used to be the Lady Luck at one time. Then the D. That used to be the Fitzgerald. Um, and that. Then if you go up by Binions, that casino got split. Was split up originally. One was called the Mint, and one was Binions, and they combined to one. So Binions took everything, technically in a way. So they refurbished that. And of course, the Circa was brand new, ground up. So the Circa is the only one that's built from the ground up down there in downtown. I didn't know that because I didn't do my homework. And all of a sudden, I remember an old video saying, "Was there Glitter Gulch here? Was there the Vegas Club there? Was there a stripping joint there?" Yes, there was. That's all I got. That all they got torn down. Then they rebuilt the Circa. What they do? We see the sign of Vegas Vic on the other side. That's not even working anymore because of the canopy will now allow the arm to move up and down, and that was like half working at the time. And what happened to Vegas Vicky that was across the street? Well, Vegas Vicky is inside the Circa. We have photos of that, but no video. So next time we're gonna make a video on that. Of both Vic and of both Vegas Vic and Vegas Vicky. So I gotta remember I gotta make a video on that myself. The only thing I hated was the Circa is you have to be ID'd to go in regardless of age. I don't care if you're 92 years old, you're getting ID'd before you go in and that. So they do ID everybody regardless of age and that. So you gotta go in and flash your ID and that. So that's another minus. And of course, like I said, the casino that we stay at uh, is 21 and older. They do allow minors in there only for lunch hours at the one restaurant, but you got to be accompanied by a parent. But otherwise, it's 21 and older location. And they don't really offer a whole lot there for kids. There's nothing there for the kids to do. That's why. I mean, if you got a pool, arcade, something to keep the kids happy, that's good. Apparently, the donut bar in Vegas is now closed. Available, but there's one available here in Eastern Canada. Yeah, the donut bar. Oh man, I missed the donut bar. Yeah, it's unfortunately like you saw in my second video on my second trip. We went actually to the donut bar for the second time. I love their. Oh man, I love their strawberry. It was their strawberry. It's like the strawberry. It's called a strawberry split donut. It's like a powdered raised donut with with the donut filling, cream filling, with half slices of strawberries, and that was good. That was for me. That was the donut to have at the donut bar. They don't make very more. They don't make very much of them. So yeah, that was off of Carson, just west, just south of the, just south, 1 block south uh, of the district of the entertainment district in Vegas. I really miss that place. That was the goal to now they have the donut. They got the pink box now. The pink box is trying to have donuts similar to the donut bar. So it's something I'm going to try. If it looks unique, different, and bizarre looking, and it's a donut, I'm going for it. I'm diving in. I'm going for it. You can have your basic melon donut all you want, but if it has a different design, different take for it, you know darn well I'm diving in for it. May not help my weight, but I'm diving in on it. Hey, Brandon, how you doing? Actually, it's good morning for me, but it's good. But it's almost close enough to good afternoon and that. But yeah, I'm definitely going for it and that. So, yeah, that was one of our good impressions. Unfortunately, it was forced to close for some reason. Don't know what was the reason. It was got promoted by a big YouTuber. I know. I think the only way I got knew about that bar, I'm going to admit again, I did see it in Say Hi to Matthew. Uh, that was the only donut bar you got 10% off by saying Say Hi to Matthew as a 10% off promo and that. And of course, I went in there on a live stream. They gave us an extra discount for live streaming in there, believe it or not. We did a live stream in there, and they gave us a discount on that. We did an edited video, and we came back with a live stream, and they gave us an extra discount on top of that because we were trying to help their business in a way. Even for a small channel, they gave us an extra discount, which they didn't have to do, but they did it anyway, and that. So, but unfortunately, I guess another YouTuber kind of badmouthed the place and just did a disservice on their channel. And unfortunately, it was forced to close for some reason. And I don't know what channel that was. It garnished, I don't think it was Sin City Family. They would never have been there anyway because it's always closed time it got there. But it was another YouTube channel that kind of garnished a lot of hate in recent years and that. So, and that was unfortunately, I think, because that channel garners a lot of hate. Also, it's not just Sin City Family. There's another YouTube channel that's garnishing a lot of hate, a lot of criticism, and that. And he got kicked out of many Las Vegas locations because of his harsh criticism. And I found out uh, he never bought anything, never did anything, never enjoyed a meal there. He just criticized the restaurant because it needed to be criticized, basically. So, and he never really had anything to prove that why it was bad and that. So, at least other YouTube channels, if they eat something that's bad and they show it looks bad, they'll tell you it's bad. They'll even show it to you. That's why I like about the that's what I like about any buffet reviews. So when we did the second trip to Vegas, we watched all the buffet reviews as much as possible, and we was able to go out to at least a couple buffets. Uh, we did the Circus, which to me that was a mistake on our end. But if I had one positive on that buffet, they had the best. I thought I had the best omelet at the omelet station. Unfortunately, they closed their omelet station. So now, next time we go to Vegas, we are not going to Circus just for the omelet station. We're going someplace else for the omelet station instead. And that. So I'll have plans and details when we do our Vegas trip later as spring goes around. Right now, we're starting to save money, and we're starting to save money hard. Actually, I'm starting making my cutbacks on a lot of stuff. So not hanging out around town as much. I do have a dinner steak review coming up on the main channel, on the Anthony and Chuck channel. There's a place in town I am going to be filming at for this channel and this channel only. So you want to subscribe to that channel, I'll have it up within 7 days, unless you're a channel member. You get to see it early as this Wednesday. But Angie and I, we're going to a place here in town called Hook's Pub here in town. We live in Clinton, Iowa. We're on the east. We're on the long mighty Mississippi River. Uh, that's our home base for most of our videos. We done Vegas twice in our lifetime, and we're going out there for the third time. It seems like every time we go out, it gets better and better for us because we know what to expect now. We know what to expect, and we know who to avoid. And that. We know who we want to see. We know who we want to meet, and now we know who we want to avoid. Okay, so the third trip will be the charm. I would hopefully so. Winning money, I don't know, but yeah, I digress there. But I'm going to do a $12 sirloin steak dinner review at a local bar called Hook's Pub, and I'm going to be putting that on the main channel and that. So it'd be something like what Mark does. We'll see how this steak dinner compared to his steak dinner he did on his channel. Not your channel, Mark. The other me's channel. He did one for Jackson's again, and that's another dining place we are willing to try ourselves. But we're checking out a $12 sirloin steak dinner, only served on Tuesdays at Hook's Pub, and I'm going to do the review on it, and it'll be on this channel. We delay our edited videos by 7 days. If you become a member, you get to see it the very next day, hopefully ad-free and that. So, and we do give away memberships a lot and that. So that's another thing I'm going to be talking about on a deal. See if the idiot in Vegas can pick it up on it. I took advantage of it twice. Mark can contest to that already. There's two things that just started on the main channel. So that'll probably be one of my other rants I'm going to have. How can it be abused? Could it be abused? And all that stuff. It's something about YouTube goals before you go live and that. I can't really get it set up on when you go live right now, but if you're on a clock countdown, like a clock countdown going, let's say you set up through Prism, then you go to your YouTube site. I'll explain all that on this channel on a later date. It is very interesting to see. I like to see other YouTube. I like to see some of the bigger YouTube channels in Vegas to try this out. Goals. They're basically goals, just simple goals. How you're going to celebrate it and that. So, and I'm still learning it myself. And another thing is the gifting membership. It's just changed. Like over on, if you got a membership, the gifting is changed for the benefit of the creator, because now you can give the creator can give out memberships without costing them a dime, which that's great news. Unfortunately, with some of those, which Sin City family morons figure that out, we don't know. I have not figured it. I don't know because they go live with their stupid intros for about 5 minutes of their intros before they go live. I'd rather just watch 5-minute countdown. Just do a 5-minute countdown instead. I would go with that. And usually you set your stupid, outrageous goals and that. So I'll talk about that on a later date. I think I might make that next week. Try to combine. Unless I go live maybe later in the week, I'll go in more detail. I think next week I'm going to do my 5 fun facts over about Sin City family next week, hopefully, but not today. And that. So we got 18 people watching. So, yep. My first souvenir from Vegas. Yeah, drive safely. Yeah, I got that like on our first trip to Las Vegas. And it's still together. Cheap plastic thing still holds up good because I take care of that. I'm proud of that, my souvenir. So basically, I'm just going to wrap up this live stream and that. So yeah, it's I got this at the ABC store. Got this at the ABC store, $12.99 plus tax, and maybe resort fees on top of that. Yeah, it's the identical sign of the welcome sign out of Vegas. It's almost identical, and that as you come in Vegas, as you leave in Vegas, and that. So, and that. Yeah, we'll be back soon. There, drive carefully. They say. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. I'm just going to say my for the ones who just chimed in, my take on Fremont Street, my first impression of Fremont Street when we first arrived was we were kind of unimpressed, because when we walked from the El Cortez to the plaza, all we said, is this it? But the lights on the canopy was fantastic. If anybody's seen some of the lights that we saw on the channel, they're just amazing. It's just totally amazing. Those are LED lights, very bright, vibrant colors, and that loud music. Sometimes when you do an edited video, sometimes the microphone will have an instant background block on it, so it doesn't get too overwhelming for the microphones. It's a way to protect the microphone, I guess, and all that. And just a walk from I would never want Vegas electricity. Yeah, that's right. Those electric bills. Yeah, if you see the strip lights lately, on the strip lights, and those lights are on 20. Actually, there's a regulation on the Fremont Street lights. They got to be on an hour before sunset. They got to be on for an hour before sunset, and they can be turned off about an hour after sunrise. So it's a sunset sunrise policy on the lights. The canopy is 24/7. The canopy lights is 24/7. We have the light show from 6 p.m. Every hour on the top of the hour from 6 p.m. till 2 a.m. It's on the top of the hour, and it's usually something different than that. There's only a couple they will double up, and that's it. It's always a different show, and that I like the mixology one they do at midnight. That has a bunch of different songs to get mashed together as one performance. To me, that is a true light show, and that was the mixology. If I remember right, they call it Rush. It's a mixology, and that. So, and that was very impressive. But this, I was just surprised how short distance Fremont Street is. For that was our first impression, how short it was, what it could have been, but we don't know because we were not in Vegas at the time. So our first impression was uh, was overwhelming, underwhelming because of the short distance. It's shorter than you think. Uh, what you see on old videos, it just looks long on old videos. And like I said, anything you see on video is really doesn't show the truth about the Las Vegas downtown area and that. And the Las Vegas Strip, even it is it's 4.4 miles drive from Mandalay Bay to the Strat. By the time you walk it, it's about 5 miles or over 5 miles because you got to count stairways. You got to go because on the busiest intersections, you are required to go use a stairway, an escalator stairway. Yes, half the escalators is still out of order, even when we were there. Even in February, some of those escalators was out of order. So it's going to be a long walk. Technically, it's for me here in town. Uh, if you Google Clinton, Iowa, here in town, if you take the US 67 route, class 30 or 30 ends at the South Bridge here in town. But if you Google my area, just to imagine walking the equivalent of from north of the town to the south of the town, then go on an angle out for another 2 miles. Uh, that's a long walk, and that is mostly direct. You don't have to just have to worry about crossing intersections and that. Even if you take the shortest way, it's still a long walk. And I've done it on a live stream once. I think already. I did it once on a live stream. It was a very long walk and that. So it's something I might try again before the Vegas trip, whether pending for me in our area and that. So, but yeah, but otherwise, I thought on the properties, I thought because what I saw on movies and all that stuff, some of those properties are huge. But when you go up and see it in person, they say, "Is that it? Is that all?" Look at the Bellagio. Look how big the Bellagio fountain is. And that Bellagio was so far back, it looked like a small town casino, technically, in a way. It's so far back. You have to walk behind the fountain, and actually, it gets bigger when you get to it. And that, but it just looks so small on photos and videos. It just looks so small. And when you go see it in person, it still looks small. And that. Chuck, what is your favorite and least favorite things about Vegas? Uh, for uniqueness, and if you want to party, I would say the Fremont Street Experience is a good party location because they have three stages, and sometimes on some nights they've not been doing it lately for some reason. They can have three live bands going at the same time, uh, which they need to get back to because that was their way to pack them in, and they still pack them in to this day, but. Three stages. You have three live bands all the time. You can have your DJs on your slower nights, but on your Friday and Saturday nights, it should run three bands all night long, technically in a way. You can play some other local bands that can play there too. You can have your mainstays, but you can get a couple of local bands to come in and play. But you should have live music there all the time in some form and that. The least favorite is, believe it or not, some of the prices they charge, especially for alcoholic drinks when you're not gambling. That's probably my least favorite. So, uh, if you want a good tip, here's a good tip. I tried this. I tried this tip before. It does work in some form. I did it at the El Cortez. Did this on the second trip 2 years ago, where I sat down on a slot machine. Bartender just recognized a new person, so go up, ask if I wanted a drink, and I say, yeah, I'll have a Miller Lite. Angie goes, what do you want? It goes, can I get a fuzzy navel? It goes, yeah. And went around and asked the other two guys on the other machine if they wanted anything. They ordered what they want. They ordered what they want. She left. I heard one of the guys goes, that's the first time she's been over here for over an hour and a half. And this new guy comes in and boom, what happens? Gets served right away. And those other two guys been there for over an hour and a half and got nothing. Um, but guess what? After she came back and gave Angie and I the drink, I gave her a $5 tip. I gave the lady a $5 tip. The other two guys gave her nothing, not $1, neither one. I had her come back to me about 15 minutes later if I wanted another beer. Looked at my bottle and goes, yeah, I'll have another one. And the other guys goes, I'm not ordering anything. Why? Because you know why? Because they never tipped. They never asked the other two guys if they wanted anything. She just walked away. Just got my order, walked away, and I said, "Well," I kind of mumbled, "Did you tip?" He goes, "Why? Don't have to. It's free beer when we play." I say, "If you tip them, they'll come back." I said, "Well, then it's not free, isn't it?" They said, "Well, technically, it's not free. Actually, it's not free because you're playing a slot machine, which you could lose money. So technically, that beer is not free anyway. It's just uh, because they want to treat their players well. There's a great benefit in Vegas. But yeah, when you're not playing, the beer alcohol is very, very expensive. So you gotta find your cheapest places to drink on at the casinos or on the strip. Just find the cheapest places to have your beverage, your favorite adult beverage, and that. So uh, if I was on Fremont Street, I avoid the outside bars. When you go inside, get a player's club card. Always get a player's club card from any casino. Those club cards do not expire. The points expire, but the card does not expire. Just put in here's the idea. Just if you want a cheap drink, put in your thing, play the machine, order your drink. Then after you got your drink in your hand and gave them a tip, cash out and cash out and cash in your ticket at the cashier. Don't. There's another thing I'm going to give you another tip on Vegas. Take your ticket at most locations, except for the Alcatraz. You can still take it to the machine. They'll give you coins. But if you talk about the strip, take your ticket to the cashier. Then they are required to pay you to the penny. On the machines, they don't have to. They'll give you a question, say, do you want to donate your change to a charity, or do you want a voucher? You get a voucher, then you gotta go to the cashier. And when people see those vouchers, they just throw them on the ground or throw them in the garbage. You know, I did not know this. Vegas made over $30 million on throwing away money on those little vouchers just for 30 cents. 10 cents here, 30 cents there, 75 cents there. Vegas and the state of Nevada made over $30 million. Actually, the state receives the money, according to Jacob's Life in Vegas, according to his information that he got, where basically the state gets most of that money, the casinos gets the rest. Anyway, so when you go to Vegas, and if you go to say, if you're not sure about getting coins out of the automated systems, at my local casino, I get coins all the time out of there. But if they stop using coins, I'm going right to the cashier's cage and get it there. Or guest services. Well, right now they call them guest services anyway. They doubled it up as a cashier's cage and guest services. But take it to the cashier's cage and you're good. They have to pay you direct. So that's another thing I hate about Vegas, especially on the strip, when you don't get the full amount. Anyway, just take it to the cashiers. Anyway, so that's it. Pinball Hall of Fame. I'm going to be there. If I was younger, I would never leave there. That's another great thing about Vegas. It has probably the best collection of pinball machines under the roof. Right here, the Pinball Hall of Fame. You guys got to check it out. If you're going to relive your childhood right there. If you like pinball machines, you're going to relive your childhood right there. Pinball Hall of Fame. That is a content by itself. And that. So they got some old pinball machines I used to grow up on. And they do have some latest ones. Actually, they debut new ones there too. The newest pinball machines, sometimes they will debut it there to see how it plays before the other places gets it. So they'll probably send an advanced copy of a pinball machine, the concept. If the people likes it, then the other locations will get it. And that's a great way to test out a new pinball machine is at the Pinball Hall of Fame and that. So, and that. Like I said, best places to eat. If you want a buffet, I avoid Circus Circus. As of right now, I avoid Circus Circus. If you want expensive buffet, but you want quality food, you want to check out the Bacchanal at Caesar's Palace. I heard the wind is pretty good. And I also heard the Palms when they do the lobster, the Wednesday and Thursday night lobster buffet. I heard that's good. That requires reservations now. Check that out. If you want that Sunday brunch, it's $100. You got to have reservations months in advance because it's limited. It's only limited reservations, and their food quality is probably top notch for a buffet. And you can get beef Wellington there. If I find a buffet that does beef Wellington, I'll give it a try. Yeah, they serve beef Wellington, the high end lobsters, and the high end crab legs, like king crab, because you don't have to give so much of those and that. So you never know what you do for Vegas buffet. But cheap eats, you want cheap eats, they're all over the place. $2 hot dog and a beer at Grand for right now, unless the new owners decide to change that price. Which it's BBR, it's Pabst Blue Ribbon beer, and a like a quarter pound, maybe a third pound hot dog for $2. Otherwise, you can get a slice of cheese pizza and a craft beer at Evil Pie for $8, which that's a bargain. It's a Evil Ale beer. That's a house beer. That's a craft beer, and a craft beer by itself is $8. And you get a slice of cheese pizza to go with it. There's your deal right there. That guy that runs a hot dog cart. If you notice, I was kind of hammered filming that one. I'll try not to be as hammered to film it this time. That hot dog cart in front of the El Cortez, that's usually there on Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays, around 10:30. Goes to about whenever he sells out. Uh, he That hot dog has all kinds of different toppings. It's a Cuban flavored mustard, Cuban flavored ketchup. It's put like chips, onions, and all that crazy toppings. And what topped it off is they put a little mayo on it. But what topped it off that cancels all that stuff is the pineapple sauce. I love that pineapple sauce. I will go back for that hot dog anytime. I don't care how expensive it is. I will go back for that hot dog. Um, no doubt about it. And that is the best hot dog on the Fremont Street area. You can go to Dirt Dog you want. There's also on Fremont Street, open 24 hours, is the chili dog place. I forgot what it's called. Uh, American something, American Coney, something called American Coney. It's a Detroit style Vegas on the strip. For the best hot dog deal, will always be the Casino Royale foot long hot dog for $2.49, maybe $3.99 now because of inflation. And you gotta remember, anything beyond ketchup and mustard, if you add onions and relish, you're paying more. Just be aware of that. When you go beyond ketchup and mustard, and if you add more like onions and relish, you're going to be paying more. You're almost going to be paying $2 more for those toppings. So be aware of that. Buyer beware right there on that one. So stick it to. For me, it's just straight up mustard. Ketchup on a hot dog is a crime in our area. Especially we live close to Chicago. I mean, we're only like 2.5 hours from Chicago. I still think putting ketchup on a hot dog is a crime anyway. So, but other cheap eats on the strip, you can find a couple fast food places too. Try and go to. If I had any tips, even if I had only 2 trips to Vegas, if I had any tips on going to Vegas, is when you book, add an extra amount for resort fees. Prepare to pay for parking unless you're a higher tier player. Uh, Always ask about the parking situation if you're staying at the property. Why they have to charge for if I'm staying at the property and all that. See, find out how way you get that down. And that, but resort fees. People don't know about resort fees, so be aware that if you're gonna get a room for, let's say, for $59 a night, which is pretty well cheap, just be prepared to pay another $50, up to $50 on resort fees. At the El Cortez, I'll pay the highest I paid for a resort fee was 23. I'm gonna say $24. I'm gonna say just round it up to $24 per night, because it's like $30, $40 a night. So just double the price of your hotel room, just to be on the safe side. Just budget the double the room rate. Whatever the room rate is, just be on the safe side. Budget for double, because they can only charge up to $50 anyway for resort fees. So and with resort fees, it's covering for internet use, pool, weight room, just the extra stuff. A lot of people say, why don't you just charge a higher price anyway, like everybody else does? I don't know why, but it's Vegas. They'll make excuses and that. And yes, I have seen at other hotels for the same amenities, pool, weight room, maybe something else. I would still pay almost like $90 a night, almost $100 a night just for that. Some of the hotels and resorts around the country that has pools and weight rooms and all that. And Vegas charges less, but then they charge a resort fee. It's basically the same price. Uh, just be prepared to when you book your room, just double the price and add an extra couple whatever for parking. Because they'll make you pay for parking if you're staying at the location, which is I think it's not a good idea. El Cortez, we found out for the El Cortez, we emailed El Cortez. If you actually stayed at the resort, if you stay there, your parking is free. If you're not staying at the hotel, you got to be a higher tier player to get free parking. Otherwise, I think they said they charge like $10 a day at the El Cortez. So be aware of that. Even the sign says free parking, it's only for free parking. And our email from the El Cortez was just like about a month ago. So we'll get a hold of them again prior to booking just to verify this hotel guest stay, get the parking for free, technically in a way. And we're supposed to as you're staying. And if you're not staying, you got to be a higher tier player to get free parking. Otherwise, you got to pay for parking there too. And that there's no such thing as free parking because right now a couple of locations is left for free parking is Treasure Island uh, and the place behind Casino Royale. There's some parking spaces there that's for free, and all of the free parking is gone, vanished, no more. You gotta pay an arm and a leg. I'm not raising my leg. It's I'm too old for that. So okay, next week I'll try to come up with five fun facts on my five fun facts of Sin City family. I'll tell you that next week. But if I go live earlier in the week, I gotta rewatch this. My thoughts on other issues, technically in a way, and all that. I think I covered everything today I need to cover anyway. But next week I'll just do my five fun facts. If I think about it, I'll talk. I'll bring it up again. I just gotta remember what I said anyway. So sometimes I do forget a lot. I'm getting old, guys. I'm only like 57. I probably forgot what I said 2 seconds ago. All right, we're going to get out of here. Thanks for listening and watching. It's my first take on Las Vegas. Fremont Street, I was underimpressed because for me, I was underimpressed because it was a short walk distance from the El Cortez Hotel to the plaza, which I basically walked that distance and I said, is that it? Is that all? But I was impressed with the lights. I was impressed with the compact of the casinos, where basically you can walk out one door, go over one block, and you're in the new casino. Some places you just gotta go right across the walkway and into another casino. It's short distance. I mean, you can casino hop better downtown, and you can do your bar hopping downtown. No wonder bar hoppers. That's another thing I might talk about maybe coming up. What's the best place to bar hop? I'm going to base this on the other me and out of Vegas and that. Yep. Uh, and another thing is the Strip. It is a long walk. Those properties do look huge, but once you walk past a particular property, you're going to ask yourself the $1 million question: Is that it? Is that all? Because it looks so bigger on TV. It looks so bigger on the movies. It just looks so bigger. But when you actually in person, actually the only property that holds true to its size, and I hate to bring up the other property, is MGM Grand. And I was really impressed with that property. I was more impressed with the Caesar's Palace property because it looked like they covered more ground than it did. Caesar's Palace property will take up our entire downtown. Mark could probably testify to that. That's big. That's a big property if it covers our entire downtown area. Because Mark sees us walk our downtown on our edited videos on the main channel. Like I said, our main channel is right there. And when I did the walking live streams downtown, if you put Caesar Palace in our downtown area, it will take up the entire downtown. I swear to God, it does. That's how big that property is, and that. So, all right. Sorry to the people who just chimed in. 17 people we had on. We had 18 at one time. We're gonna call it a day. Like I said, next week I'll have my 5 fun facts on what I know about Citizen Family and the BS that they do. Right now, I did not watch none of them at all last week, but I watched enough of them that I can come up with 5 fun facts on myself. We'll do that next week. Please like, share, subscribe, don't forget to subscribe button, notification bell. Thank you, and we'll see you guys later. We're gonna end it. Yes.